Hello everyone, thank you so much for being here with us this lovely Friday. My name is Selena Maguer and I'm a realtor with the great team Elite Realty. And today we're going to talk about something that is really important for the community, especially for the ITIN holders. So if you have an ITIN and your American dream is to own a little piece of Texas and you've been told no you can't because you don't have credit, then this is for you. We're gonna because I know many of you are already, you have an ITIN but you're already paying the rent, you're working hard, you're paying your bills, you're paying your taxes, but when it comes to buying a house, someone says, oh no, I'm sorry, you don't have credit so you can buy a home. Well, let me tell you, you can buy a home if you have an ITIN and you don't have a credit score. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So sit down, take some notes if you need to, or if you don't need, don't worry about it, because we're going to have this video here for you so you can come back to it as many times as you need. But just relax and listen, because you can buy a home and we're going to show you how. So there is something that is called alternative credit. And what it is, it basically is showing that you have a credit history without a credit score, like a traditional credit score, right? So this is just a proof. It tells the lender that you can manage your money, your financials properly, you're responsible, even though you don't have a credit score or credit cards. And that's another thing that a lot of ITIN holders, they think that you can't get a credit card because you've asked maybe your bank and they said, oh no, you can't get one. Well, you can. You can get a credit card and start establishing your credit, but that's another topic. Right now we're gonna focus on alternative credit and going back to that. So that is what is alternative credit. It's used by the lenders because sometimes they know even not everyone likes to use credit cards or they like to pay cash, and that's okay. They can, basically it's just proving your history, your credit history in another way, in an alternative way, right? So it also shows the lender that you're responsible, that you're consistent on your payments. So that helps a lot. And what are some examples of the alternative credit? Well, you're already doing this. One of the examples can be rent payments for the past 12 months, any utility bills like water, electricity, gas, phone bills, internet bills, childcare, card payments, insurance, and some lenders also can use subscriptions for your alternative credit. If you have Netflix, Hulu, Apple Music, anything like that, they can consider for your alternative credit. So now we can see how lenders look at this information. Not every lender uses alternative credit. Some do. Especially the local banks. The smaller banks are the ones who usually take and work with alternative credit and portfolio loans. I know we've had a topic before about portfolio loans, but pretty much what it is a loan that it stays in house. Example, you go to State of Texas, they do a portfolio loan, they keep it in house, they don't sell it to bigger banks like Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, or any of those banks that are big names. And because they're in house, they set their own guidelines, their own rules, and usually are a little bit more flexible on that. And that's why they can use alternative credit and not regular or traditional credit score. And so what they're gonna do is it's not gonna be like just going and saying, okay, I have my bills, I pay my bills, here it is. No, they have some guidelines on that. They usually like to see the rent payments for at least 12 months. They will ask for other lines of credit, which could be the water bill, any of the examples that we previously talked about. Your water bill, your gas, your electricity bill, they like to see. I've seen some of the banks, they only ask you for 2 other lines of credit. Some others, they ask you for 3, for 4. But it just depends, case by case, lender by lender. And also they might ask you as well for your tax returns and your proof that you can get the loan, right? Proof of income as well. But like I said, it just depends on the lender and the guidelines that the bank has. So it's better just to ask and see what the rules are for them or what the guidelines are for them, so you know exactly what they're looking at. And I know this works. It works really good because I've done it before with previous clients. So, but you have to make sure that you prepare for that, because I also see that it doesn't work if you don't have your things organized and well prepared. Because Like I said, it's not just going to the lender and saying, here are my bills and take my lines of credit that you're asking for. No, you have to make sure that everything is organized, and I'm gonna show you some of the things that you can start doing now, because they're gonna ask you for a 12-month history, so you need to start now. If you don't have things in line, you have to start now so you can be ready. You don't have to wait like another year after the time you go in and ask the lender, right? So one of the things that you can do is make sure the bills are under your name. I've seen it before. Like I said, I've helped people close their homes using alternative credit, but I've also seen people who are trying to use alternative credit and they can't because everything is kind of like a mess. So go check your bills. Make sure your name is on every single bill that you can't put your name on. So the water, light, gas, anything. It doesn't. You don't have to be the only person there, but you have to be added to those bills. So go do that like yesterday. Another thing, you make sure to always make your payments on time. Always, always, always. Because this one is really important, because this is your credit history. This is your credit score. That's the only way they know that you're going to be a responsible person and you're going to be able to pay that mortgage back. So one late payment can affect a lot. Why? Because after you do the late payment, everything is going to reset again. The time is going to reset and you're going to have to wait another 12 months after that late payment. So imagine if you're 11 payments, doing 11 months paying consecutive payments on time all the time, and then almost close to a year, then you do a late payment, you're going to have to start all over again. So make sure you can set reminders. You can do auto pays. I would advise to do auto pays. It's better so you don't forget to do any payments on time. And this is another big one, records. Keep records of every single payment that you do. If you like to do online payments, that's okay. If they don't send you a receipt, take a screenshot. If you like to pay with cash, that's okay, but make sure you ask for a receipt and you keep them in a place so you can have everything together, because remember, they're going to ask you for a history of a year, a full year. So it's better, I say it's better to do it electronically, in a way that you can track down. If you lost a receipt, maybe your bank statements. If you do checks, you can go back and check your checks, or anything, any ways that you can prove that you'll be making your payments every single month on time. And another thing that you can do is just consult an ITIN lender, or in this case, you can make sure that you talk to a realtor that is familiar with ITIN holders, that understand how ITIN works, because not everyone does. And sometimes it's just easier to say, oh no, you can't because you have an ITIN. Oh no, you can't because of this. We at Elite, we work a lot with ITIN holders, so we understand it pretty well. If you have any questions about any of this information, don't hesitate to reach out. Always, you can send us a message or anything, because we're pretty familiar with the process that the ITIN holder, what the ITIN holders need and how it works. So that's very important as well. I mean, everything is important, but this is also important. And I just want to remind you, remember that being an ITIN holder does not stop you from buying a home. You can buy a home with an ITIN. If you don't have traditional credit score, you can also buy a home, because you have, as we see with alternative credit, you have credit. We just need to show your credit history in a different way. It's not going to be traditional, but you can do it. Always stay consistent, stay organized, document everything. This is very important, because we don't like, it's a lot of paperwork sometimes, and we just like, because it's so busy, we go with the flow every day, we do, but we don't pay attention to the small little things. That's what's going to help you in the future, especially if you're trying to do something that is a non-traditional way. So start now, because that you can be ready right now. If maybe, I'm sure you're already ready, because you're paying, like I said, you're working hard, paying taxes, paying bills, filing, everything that needs to be done. We just need to find a way on how to organize your things so you can be ready. And do we have any questions, Mandis? We don't have any questions, but if you do, my phone number is 512-938-2288. I'm always available. The Elite Dream Team is always available for you if you have any questions about this topic, any other real estate topics, or if you have any suggestions about any topic. We're also happy to hear that, so we can go over that and answer questions that maybe other people have. So thank you so much for being here with us. Please share this video so we can get to more people can benefit from this information. And remember that everyone can own a little piece of Texas. We just need the right plan to make it happen. We'll see you next time.